Welcome to the jungle. We have datacrons. Yeah, not as cool as it initially sounded, right? Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Zareth Prevails. Today we're going to talk about set 10, Datacrons. Aayla looks like a lot of fun. There's a lot of stuff to talk about, guys. Let's go into saying thanks to my patrons. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for all your support. I couldn't do this without you. And guys, just a reminder to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, comment, do something to help out the algorithm. It really helps this channel. Thank you guys so much for all of your support. Now, I put out a video yesterday talking about how some people hate datacrons, and I get it, and some people don't want to engage for a lot of different ideological reasons. We're not going to get into that. You guys can look in the video description. I've linked it. You can go watch that video. But if you want it, if one of the reasons you don't want to play with datacrons is that it's too overwhelming, it's just too much, then I kind of broke it down into like, hey, here, like you can engage in it as much as you want. Without getting overwhelmed. You can add some stats and just not look at all of the all of the words on the datacrons. You don't have to worry about that if you don't want to. So go check that out, guys, in the video description. I do have an infographic for set 10 again, which I put one out every time we get a new datacron set, and you can find this version for free as always on my Discord server. It's on a channel called Infographics. The link for it is in my video description. Easy to get, easy to it's free to get, guys. Come hang out with us. We have a lot of members on the channel, or on the Discord server. It's a good time. It really is. And before we look more at the infographic, I do just want to point out there's a couple changes to datacrons this season compared to the last one. Now, first off, there is the sim button on Conquest, which I guess happened last Conquest as well, but that's different. We didn't have it at the start of set 9 for datacrons, so it's nice. CG has made this a lot more accessible. Now, whether or not you want it to be more accessible is another question, but this is a slide I used in my video yesterday, just discussing that there's a couple different things that CG has done to make things more accessible. First off, they're making the total relic levels that are required to access datacrons, they're reducing them by 2 across the board. So instead of needing relic 7 on Aayla to be able to use her level 9, you only need her at relic 5. So which is really nice. It's in my opinion, it makes it way easier. I'm not saying that it's easy to just always add 2 quick relic levels, but it's way easier than adding 4, I guess. The other thing that I want to point out, guys, is that the store refresh is way bigger now, way better now. It refreshes every 6 hours instead of every week, which is just a bonkers change. Really good change. It changes the economy so much, and I'll probably put a video of it probably at the start of next Conquest, like a month from now. But for now, just something to point out: if you wanted to crack into using crons, which again you don't need to, I'm not judging you one way or another. If you wanted to, however, this is probably a good opportunity for you to jump into it, guys, in my opinion. Now let's go look at the infographic. The infographic, actually, I had a copy of this. I was showing people just the bottom right part, so I put the draft version of this into my video yesterday, and some people screenshotted it because I turned my face off like this. People screenshotted it, and it was floating around in some servers, and I was like, gosh, this it's too bad. Like, there's you can see on the top right with the version 1.0 that it says version draft on it. So if you guys have that copy, don't listen to it. That's lies. It's old stuff from set 9. It was barely changed. It's just if you look closely, there's a big mess. Now, one thing I will point out are the stats that you want to chase. I just break it down. I broke it down just a little bit. There's 6 different stats. We'll look at them a little more in depth in just a minute, but that's something that I'm going to keep consistently there, because the people who only want to engage like at a level level 1 or whatever from my video previously with the stats. You know, these are all things to be looking at. This is a very offensive heavy set as opposed to the most recent one where you can really get a lot of armor, defense, or whatever you want to call it. This one is all about offense and ramping damage and just bludgeoning people in the face. It's wonderful and fun. There's a lot of so these team suggestions here, guys, they're not necessarily like you don't have to use these exact teams, but they're kind of just give you the gist of kind of what you're going for. You can see that the preferred set 9, this is the most recent one. You know, like most of the Galactic Legends still like this one because the thick crons, as we call them, are just like the level 3s are just too bonkers. It's just such a simple mechanic that you can make your teams crazy. You can change your Jabba team into having 4 dark side so that you still get the most out of it. And otherwise, Nice Sisters are really good. All the dark side and even Rey really likes set 9. In fact, a lot of the teams that we're going to be looking at also love set 9, but they're also going to like set 10. So you have the set 10 must-haves here. You don't obviously have to have them, but the ones like Kenobi's going to be bonkers. There's something for the Jedi that as long as you get Foresight, whenever you get Foresight, you get 20% extra damage for the rest of the battle, stacking all the way up to 100%. And Kenobi hands out Foresight like candy. And so if you kind of put more characters into it, like General Kenobi hands out Foresight, and so does R2-D2. Like you can ramp this team's damage up like crazy. Now that's going to hurt your Gidme team, which also has a really cool thing with level 3. But for the most part, level 3, you're going to want speed up on all of these things, on all these teams. Jedi Revan is going to be very interesting. Now, keep in mind that this level 9 stuff is still very, very strong for this. Like the Old Republic boosts for Basti and for Jedi Revan, still really strong. I just think that this set with Jedi specifically as a faction are going to be even better. Once you get Cal, now Cal is going to be available for people for unlock, probably if CG allows the event to come out after 3 months, be re-released after 3 months as opposed to what Grand Inquisitor was. But if Cal Kestis Jedi Knight is available for farming in a couple months from now, you're gonna be able to use his cron at least for a couple months. So you're gonna want to farm some of these crons for him, guys. The Foresight level 6 is just so good. The Qui-Gon teams that I've been yammering about is like the ones that print wins. It's going to print even more wins, guys, because they start with Foresight. They all start with just an extra 20% damage. And then on top of that, they're going to be getting all of the different offensive stats from this set, the armor pen, the offense, etc. It's going to be a good time for them, at least. The CLS teams with Grit on the Wookiees is another one that's really good. You're going to be killing a few different Galactic Legends here, guys, with CLS. In addition, the Phoenix team, guys, I'm not saying you have to whale on anything. They don't have to spend money to do something. Like, it's, on the other hand, if you were going to spend a bunch of money on this game for some reason, and you haven't gotten Captain Rex yet, you can see I don't have him ready yet, but I've been throwing a little bit of money at crystals to be able to get him to 7 stars so that I can use his Datacron, because it is so good. That the Phoenix team that showed here is killing Jabba teams that have 400%. Well, not even Jabba teams, Lord Vader teams that have 400% defense crons on them. At Relic 9s, just fully loaded, amazingly modded teams. And the Phoenix team here, obviously you have to have Relic on Rex, is still beating them even without the Omicron in use. It's just happening in Arena. People have been testing it. It is really bonkers good. This team is crazy strong. It really is. And the Rex Cron is really good. Chopper's one is also really good. We'll look at that. Otherwise, all these other ones you guys can deduct for yourself. The Jedi Master Luke might be better. He might like set 9 better. If you have a really good set 9 cron with a huge amount of protection, you might want to just keep it, honestly. But all the Jedi have been enjoying are going to enjoy this ramping stuff with Foresight. There's no protection on this cron though, guys. So Jedi Master Luke, you may want to just farm this cron for next 5v5 and 3v3 cycle, but just use set 9 until then. Still really strong. And then the Star Killer Squad, I have Aayla listed here just because she assists on everything. She looks like a lot of fun. Will it be really strong? I'm not sure. She's going to be really good with a lot of different teams, honestly. And then finally, we just have one of our few dark side teams that really like this set are the Troopers, because they don't care about their hit points. They just care about how much they can punch people's face in. So you get armor pen and offense, and they're very, very happy. And you also have the Gidme team, guys. Just be careful. You're going to run out of Jedi and Galactic Republic pretty quick. I actually just got Cup 2 relics so that I could actually use him with Gidme more consistently. Very strong squad. It turns out all the Troopers love this set. Alright, guys, now let's jump into the game and we'll talk about a few specific crons that you want to look out for. You can read this on the infographic, guys, all the different things, all my great wisdom that I have to spread and share to the masses is available here on this infographic. It's wonderful. You have to wonder what Jesus would have been able to accomplish if he had infographics. That was a crazy invention, guys. Back in the day, they wished they had them. That was just a dream that they had. Whoa, we're in the game. That's a dream. This is madness. All right, guys. So stats. Pretty typical. Crit Avoid is our only defensive stat. Probably just ignore it. You can get up to 100% of it, though, so that's kind of nice if you really want to shut someone down. Eventually I could see like a Malgus team enjoying this or something. Crit chance, most characters don't like this that much. They don't need it, but some of them like it. Like Grandmaster Yoda, even Mother Talzin, not that she's gonna want this set, but this is the people who do special damage like crit chance in general. Crit damage, probably the lesser of the 3 damage dealings that you're doing. Accuracy, if there's no dodge, which I don't want there to be dodge, but if there was, accuracy would serve a purpose. It doesn't serve a purpose though, because it's not like you can just stack a bunch of accuracy on and suddenly start hitting people while they're in Foresight. Like there's not enough reason to have accuracy yet. Eventually maybe this is going to be a really great stat, but not yet. Armor pen, you can get like 440% of this. Keep in mind this is armor, guys. This isn't defense penetration, so it's only going to be on physical attacks that this works. Now, so people can tell me in the comments if I'm wrong. You guys can check that, and I will pin the thing admitting I'm wrong. But armor pen is just going to be for physical damage. People who are doing special damage aren't going to get any benefit from this. So like Cat doesn't do physical damage, she does special damage, so she's not going to use this at all. She will be able to use offense stat, which is nice. It's a universal thing. We've had offense on 3 sets so far in a row. It's pretty crazy, actually, guys. I can't believe this set doesn't have any potency or tenacity on it. We've gone, this is the 2nd in a row without either of those. That being said, okay, level 3s, you don't really like that. There's not much value in any of them. Like the protection up, nice for a Gidme team so that you get more courage. The speed up is probably going to be the best for your basic abilities. The only other one that I really like is like you can recover 2% health and protection. It's nice to be able to get a few of your banners back in GAC, but honestly a lot of those teams that you would like to use it on are dark side, like Wampa or Treya. They can't use it because it's only light side, guys. Now for factions, I'm not going to point out each one of these because they're not really that great. A lot of them are just not worth mentioning. The one that you want to look at, guys, Clone Troopers with the basic ability, they like the 5% crit damage stacking, I guess. It's just kind of weird. Like Bad Batch like it in theory, but they don't care about crits. They don't care about anything but their true damage and offense numbers. And so Bad Batch are like, well, okay, thank you, but we're already doing enough damage. With the but like the 501st do like this, and honestly Bad Batch probably like it more than anything else. There's also the offense stacking, which is nice. Remember, if you do an AoE and you do 5 crits, then the next time you go to hit, because it stacks 10% offense for each time that you crit someone, if you crit 5 times with an AoE from like Echo or something, for instance, then the next time you're gonna have 50% more damage, and you're gonna have that for your assists as well. So this one could be good. I do like the permanent stacking though, the crit damage stacking, even if Bad Batch don't like it. The rest of them, I just it's whatever, man. They're not great on any of them. The other thing I will point out, guys, the no revive thing, it doesn't really help on any of these that they're on, because 501st already have a they're with General Skywalker, so he just denies revives anyways. When you're with Bad Batch, I don't know what they counter that has a lot of revives, frankly. Maybe it helps them against like Night Sisters sometimes once the Marin Cron is gone. I don't really know this. For the most part, you just want to stick with the top 2. For Phoenix, honestly, my guess is that you're just going to stay with this top one, and I will be very interested to see how Phoenix do without Captain Rex. That should be interesting, but the fact that they gain extra counter chance and 10% offense stacking every time they have specials, and then Chopper is constantly assisting and reducing the cooldowns on abilities, and so that means that you're going to be able to use specials basically every time you're going to ramp your offense. This one is, in my mind, the only good one. If you have a full Phoenix squad, this is what you want. If you're a Phoenix character, if you're like, oh hey, Ezra's with a random like pack of Tuskens, then I don't know why you're doing that, but maybe look into one of these other ones. Otherwise, yeah, I mean, the other ones are okay, I guess, but I don't know why you would consider any of them other than this top one, frankly, guys. The Jedi one, the Foresight, you have so much access to Foresight from so many different places. You have, like, the Jedi Master Kenobi one, the Qui-Gon team, all of them. This one is crazy good. It's very strong, guys. The other ones, they're fine, but they don't have nearly the crazy ramping potential that this one does, folks. This one's good. If you want to go for something other than Foresight, if that doesn't really fit what your team is doing, look at one of the turn meter manipulation ones. Those two are decent, at least. The Wookiee ones, I think, honestly, so Grit is going to be really good with the Luke team, the CLS team. That's the one you're going to want. And then for the Tarful team, honestly, guys, if you're running Tarful, it looks like this team, like, to me, this one looks just really bonkers good, because they love every time an allied Wookiee is crit. So you get crit, and every Wookiee ally gains Foresight. It's really good, and they gain 10% defense, which, remember, defense is also the way they ramp their damage on a Tarful team. This one it looks really, really strong, guys. That team is also going to do a lot of good. With Grit, I have to think that this top one is going to be the best one for them, though. As far as specific characters, Clone Wars Chewie in theory is cool, but probably you just want the Tarful one. If you put Clone Wars Chewie with a different team, he's just not that good, but when they remove his taunt, they lose 50% turn meter, not nearly as strong. Zombie has that currently. Nice Sister Zombie, much better on her. She wore it better. Captain Rex, this one is really strong, guys. Whenever they're inflicted with ability block or daze, they dispel it and inflict 2 stacks of dots on characters. Just really strongly. He gains more health and speed, and Phoenix allies like all over the place. This one is one of the best ones in this set, guys. Cody could be good in 3v3, honestly, with like Rex, or with a few different characters, like the 25% bonus turn meter on 2 different characters every time they attack during his turn. Could be really good. Sabine's is like, well, you're only going to want this if she's low, hanging out on a different squad. You're like, all right, well, we're not going to have a whole Phoenix squad. We don't have the manpower for that. We don't have the squad for that. Instead, she's just going to fly solo and just hang out with, I don't know, like a Sauna squad. That's what I've been doing lately. This is nice. Otherwise, you're going to just want either the Captain Rex one or the Chopper one that we'll look at. Aayla, the thing I like about her, guys, remember she stuns on basic or on her special, but whenever another ally, that could be anyone, that could be a Sith, that could be the pack of Tuskens that we talked about, that could be Wampa, because you're going to want her to with Wampa. No, you don't, but if you did, like, she's going... Hold on a sec, guys. Sorry about that. I need to clear my throat. Now, it doesn't matter who she's with, she's going to assist, and she's going to be stunning, and she does more damage as well whenever she does it. And so, wherever she is, whenever someone does anything, it just says unability on their turn, which means as long as they're not feared or stunned or something, as long as they do a basic or a special, she's going to assist and she's going to deal extra damage. Seems really cool. Machine Gun Aayla is available and I'm here for it. Hera, it sucks. Don't even bother. Tarful, this one is the Wookiee one that you want, guys. It's pretty good. You guys can read it. They get offense. They get all the cool stuff. Like I said, you can read it. Clone War or Veteran Smuggler Chewie. I mean, if you're running him on his own squad, I get on a different squad, it can be okay. I wouldn't kill myself trying to get it though. Kanan's reflects damage, it's okay. But Choppers, man, Choppers, like, remember, whenever he does a basic, he's reducing his teammates' cooldowns and handing out buffs. And on this one, this is the exact same as Aayla. It's the Chopper machine gun, and this time, whenever another ally, so he could be on any team, he could be on a sortie squad for that matter, and he reduces cooldowns for droids as well. Whenever another ally uses an ability, then he assists, and he does more damage. He doesn't do any damage, but he does assist a lot. So you're gonna get to the point where he's assisting like up to 3 times in a turn if you have the right Datacron on. So this one really strong. Probably not quite as strong as the Captain Rex one, but we'll see. And also in 3v3, he might just be completely bonkers with like Sabine or something and just keep resetting. She just like spams her armor shred. I don't know if that's good or not, but there's a few different possibilities, guys. Zeb, stacking, whatever, man. We're probably not going to use him at all. Anyways, on that team, Qui-Gon, it's like, okay, you're already boosting your team's damage a ton. You may as well give him this one as well if you can roll it. I wouldn't kill myself. This is one of the least important ones on that squad, but it's still decent. Clone Wars, Clone Sergeant, whatever, man. Ezra, one of the worst in the game as far as level 9s. The Jedi Cal. If you have Cal, this is pretty good, guys. And if you're going to get Cal, I would recommend it. You start with Stacks of Impetuous. Pretty dang good, folks. Whenever he gains Stacks of Impetuous, he grants Jedi Ally Speed Up. So keep in mind, so he gains the Stacks of Impetuous. Because he gains them, he doesn't just start with them, he gains them, grant Jedi Ally Speed Up. So all of your Jedi team, when he goes, is going to start with Impetuous. It's going to be really strong, folks. For him and for your team, Omega, this looks okay. I don't know if it moves the needle that much for Bad Batch, but it's going to be alright. It's going to be okay. She's going to do some damage. If you read how it works, we'll see. Maybe it'll move the needle a little bit, but, I mean, Bad Batch are who they are. Like, what else do they kill if you give her this? I don't know. Or maybe we'll have a weird... Someone will come up with something awesome, I'm sure, and we'll just go with that. Maybe she'll go with Sabine and the armor shred, and it'll just be a weird, crazy match up. So, alright guys, that's it for me. Let me know what your thoughts are. What are your exciting teams? I would love to hear it. Guys, thank you all so much for watching, and remember that in all things, Zareth prevails.